Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining Sustain Life Journal Yoga today. We will be flowing through a 20-minute Hatha yoga class, and I'll be using a mixture of English and Sanskrit to describe the class. You can go ahead and get started in Supta Baddha Konasana, so lying on our back with our feet together and our knees out wide. If you enjoyed today's class, please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you'd like more information on sustainable living and yoga lifestyle, you can join the newsletter at sustainlifejournal.com. As we rest in this Supta Baddha Konasana, we can begin to check in for why we decided to take this class today. We can check in with how we're feeling, and most importantly, we can just bring our attention to our breath. I encourage you throughout class to keep your attention on your breath. It sounds really simple, but it really does help us to tap into the present moment, and it's way more important to be focusing on the present moment than making the pose look perfect. And so with that, we can take our hands to the outsides of our knees, drawing them in together. And then we'll move into a bridge pose, Satubandha Sarvangasana. Lifting our hips and pressing into the heels of our feet, keeping a straight spine. And on your exhale, release. You can bring the soles of your feet together. Take a deep inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. Go ahead and bring your knees back up, pointing towards the sky, and we'll move into our second bridge pose. Really drawing your belly button in and lifting up through your hips. You can allow your arms to go any place that feels comfortable for you. On your next exhale, allow your hips to gently come down towards the earth. And then we'll widen our feet and allow our knees to shift side to side, just opening up our lower back, allowing our knees to fall one side and then the other. And the next time you make your way to your right side, allow both of your knees to just rest on your right side. Keep taking deep inhales and exhales through your nose. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and on your exhale, allow your knees to fall over onto your left side. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and on your exhale, allow your knees to come back up towards the sky, and then wrap your arms around your knees, drawing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a really big hug, and just thanking yourself for taking the time to take care of yourself and do something really good for your mind and your body. You can begin taking small rocks side to side. And then when you're ready, we will roll up into a seated position. We'll begin by taking a deep breath through our nose and raising our hands up over our head. And on our exhale, we'll allow our hands to come to our heart into Anjali Mudra. Again, just checking in with why we decided to come and make space for ourselves, for our self-healing and our self-love. Take a deep inhale through your nose, lifting your hands up over your head. And on your exhale, allow your right hand to fall down onto your left knee, twisting over your left side. We can keep our gaze to our left side or even look behind us to the back of the room. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and on your exhale, raise your hands up over your head, and then allow your left hand to come to your right knee, twisting over to your right side. Really keeping our sits bones planted firmly in the mat and twisting from our upper body. On your next exhale, raise your hands over your head, and then we'll start to do some neck stretches. So we'll allow our right fingertips to come out to our side, and then gently allow your head to tilt over towards your left shoulder. And continue to focus on your inhales and exhales as you deepen into this pose. And when you're ready, you can switch over to the other side, extending your fingertips out on your left side and allowing your head to fall towards your right side. Begin to roll over your knees, making your way into a tabletop position. Stacking your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. We'll start by lifting our chin and our tailbone up towards the sky. And on our exhale, drawing our belly button in, bringing our chin toward our chest. Take an inhale, looking up, cow pose. And on your exhale, drawing your belly button in, cow pose, really arching your back like a cat. Begin to start taking our Vinyasa and Marjalasana at your own pace, guided by the rhythm of your breath and how your body feels in this moment. You can shift your hips back into a child's pose, or maybe come into an upward facing dog, or just stick with a traditional cat and cow pose. And when you feel all evened out, you can shift your hips back into a child's pose, bringing your feet together, your knees out wide, and your hands stretched out in front of you. And just taking a few moments to breathe and to rest. You may feel like you haven't done a lot of hard work in class so far, but you never need a reason to check in and take care of yourself and give yourself rest. You're always worthy of rest. You're more than welcome to stay in this child's pose for the remainder of class if you wish, but if you'd like to move forward with class, we'll start to push into our hands and knees, coming into a tabletop position, and then tucking our toes and lifting our hips, moving into a downward facing dog. In our Adho Mukha Svanasana, We can allow our heels to fall towards the earth. They don't have to touch your mat. And we can press into the mat with the palms of our hands. You can begin by taking small movements, maybe bending one knee and then the other, and just settling in to our downward facing dog. Begin to slowly tiptoe your feet up to meet your hands, coming into our Uttanasana forward fold. And you can go ahead and have a pretty generous bend in your knees, just warming up the backs of our legs and our lower back. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and we'll reach up over our head, moving into Mountain Pose Tadasana. Bringing our hands to meet each other, then shifting our hips over to the left and reaching over to the right. Take a deep inhale through your nose. On your exhale, we'll straighten up and then move over to our left side, gently pushing our hips over to the right. And when you're ready, you can waterfall down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Take an inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana with a straight spine, and on your exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, bringing your hands over your head. And on your exhale, allow your hands to come to your lower back, coming into a small back bend. On your next inhale, lift up out of your back bend, coming into Tadasana. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Plant your hands on the mat and step back with your right foot. Drop your right foot down onto the mat and lift up into your low lunge. Really pressing into the heel of our left foot in our Anjaneyasana and lifting up through our fingertips. Begin to cross your right arm in front of you and using your left arm to deepen the pose to whatever depth is the most comfortable for you. Begin to release out of this stretch, and then we'll allow our hands to frame our left foot and step forward into a forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, lifting your hands up towards the sky, and on your exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat and step your left foot back, coming in to a low lunge, lifting your hands up over your head as we press down into our right heel. And we'll move into that arm stretch on the opposite side. So we'll allow our left arm to cross over in front of us, bending with our right arm and drawing our left arm in towards us to where it feels comfortable on this side. Begin to release this arm variation, allowing your hands to frame out your right foot, and then make your way into a modified plank pose on your knees, drawing your elbows in towards your side and allowing your chest to come down onto the earth. We'll move into either a cobra pose, or we'll move into an upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Coming to the tops of your toes and pressing into your hands with strong arms and gently looking up or a little bit in front of you. You can allow your thighs to be on the mat or lifted. if you'd like to look over each of your shoulders just to stretch out your neck a bit, you're welcome to do so. In a typical Vinyasa class, we can really flow through this upward facing dog, but it's a really beautiful pose to stretch out the front side of your body. So when you're ready, you can make your way into a child's pose, back to where we started our class today. And again, just really deepening your inhales and exhales through your nose. We're not quite done with class yet, but you're doing an amazing job. Let's go ahead and make our way up into a tabletop position and then tuck our toes, moving back into a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Then bend your knee, opening up. Just taking a deep inhale and exhale through your nose. And on your exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest and then allow your foot to come in between your hands, rising up into our crescent lunge, Chandrasana. Really bending into our right knee and lifting up through our fingertips. You can choose the arm variation that works best for you. If you'd like to interlace your hands behind your back, lifting up through the chest to stretch out the front side of your body. You can bring your hands to your hips or just simply over your head, or even trying out a few different arm variations. On your exhale, allow your hands to frame your foot, stepping back into plank, and then shifting your hips into downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and on your exhale, lift your left foot, and then bend your knee, opening up your hip. Begin to draw your knee in towards your chest, and then step your left foot in between your hands, lifting up into Chandrasana on our left side. Really squaring our hips towards the front of the mat, rooting down through our feet as we lift up through our fingertips. And again, you can choose the arm variation that feels best for you on this side. Our body can feel different on different days and on the left side versus the right side, so it's more important that you tap into how you're feeling than doing what I'm doing, but you can of course use what I'm doing as guidance. Go ahead and lift your hands up over your head, and then on your exhale, plant your hands on the mat and step back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful job. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And on your exhale, start to walk your feet up towards your hands. Then gently allow your hips to come down towards the earth. And we will make our way into our final resting pose. Just kidding, we have one more pose if you want to join, or you can go straight to Shavasana. We're just going to add in one more bridge pose. Really pressing into our feet and lifting up through our hips. You can press into your hands and just breathe. Don't hold your breath in this pose. It's really easy to do so. And when you're ready, you can allow your hips to come down to the mat. Maybe allow your knees to fall from one side to the other. And then now you can make your way into a Shavasana pose, extending your feet out to the bottom of your mat and your hands out by your sides, and just letting go. Just thanking yourself for all the effort that you put into this class. Even though it's a slower class, it does take a lot of effort to show up for yourself and to move slowly and intentionally and be mindful of your breath. It is work, so you should be proud of yourself. And I wanted to leave you with this beautiful quote today, which reads, "There is virtue in work and there is virtue in rest. Use both and overlook neither," by Alan Cohen. So I hope that quote brings you a little bit of peace, and just melt into your mat and let go. As we move into our meditation for today, I invite you to make your way into a seated position, or you are more than welcome to stay in your Shavasana pose, or really any pose that feels comfortable for you. It's more important that we pay attention to the thoughts in our mind than choosing a specific pose. There's a lot of pressure to sit in a seated position, but you don't have to do that. So, anyways, before we start our meditation, let's just start by taking some deep inhales and exhales through our nose, and reminding ourselves that all we have to do is focus on our breath and not the random thoughts that come in and out of our mind. And I will let you know when the meditation is complete. Begin to deepen your inhales and exhales, reawakening your body. Maybe bringing small movements to your fingers and toes. And just bringing your awareness back to the present moment, back to your day. And hopefully this moment of rest and self-care will help you move through the day in a more peaceful and present state. I really, really appreciate you joining Sustained Life Journal Yoga today and it being a part of your self-care practice. If If you would like to join more classes with us, you can go ahead and subscribe. And if you'd like more information on sustainable living and yoga lifestyle, you can visit sustainlifejournal.com and sign up for the newsletter. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.